Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the pulse of Husker Nation, brought to you by DPS Concrete Construction and CarrikerChronicles.com. To all your Husker sports hopes and dreams will come true. Ladies and gentlemen, it's just science. This is the first time, this is my gut reaction to Nebraska beating Boston College 20-15 in the Bad Boys Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. I can never say that name without chuckling. All right, this is the first time I've ever gone live on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, send me your questions, send me your comments, send me your thoughts, your concerns, or otherwise. And bear with me. This is my first time ever going live on YouTube, but it can't be that hard, can it? I guess we'll see. Here's how I want to do this. I want to go for about 20 minutes. Okay, I got my game breakdown. It's not the normal 20 pages or the white paper. It's yellow because that's what I have with me in New York. Apparently, I forgot to bring printer paper with me, but it's about 8 pages. So I want to spend the 20 minutes, about 10 going through the game, and then I want to get to your questions. I can see comments coming in. Do me a favor. If you're like me and you think this bowl win is worth more than just one game, because it's bigger than just one win. This is a win that Matt RHULE needed to have. Nebraska's now got a winning record for the first time in ages, 2016. And we now have a 500 all-time bowl record, 27-27 after today. But if you enjoyed Nebraska beating Boston College, outplaying Boston College, yes, we'll get to special teams at some point. All right, but most of all, the young talent that was on display today. If you enjoyed watching any of this or seeing any of this, smash the like button and send me your questions, comments, thoughts, concerns, or otherwise. All right, I want to go through my game recap as always, and I want to get to your questions. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I was in the press box today. This is my first time ever being in the press box. I can always go to the press box. I like being on the field. I like kind of being able to take notes in privacy. Press box is phenomenal. This is my first time ever being in the press box. It was a Yankee Stadium, open-ended press box, so you had to have a coat on and all that good stuff. But it was a lot of fun. This is my first time in the press box. Normally, I'm all over the place throughout games. Okay, now, a couple of thoughts coming into this game. Oh, real quick, if you haven't done so, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. I got like 3 shows coming out in the next 4 days after this video. All right, Sunday night, we're gonna land, get home from New York, and I'm gonna put out my final season grades for Nebraska football and Matt RHULE this season. My final season grades. Okay, that's Sunday night. Monday night, what can we expect from Dana Holgorsen and John Butler as our offensive and defensive coordinators going forward? And we got to have a conversation about it fully. So we're going to talk about our coordinators on Monday night, what you can expect going forward. And I'm working on a special interview. All right, a very special interview. If I can get it, it's going to be pretty exciting. That'll probably drop New Year's Day if it's able to work out. But if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell. All right, a couple of things. Shout out to Ty Robinson, the best player on this defense, maybe the best player on the team, I don't know. And Bryce Benhart, who both played in their record-setting 60th career games here at the University of Nebraska. And full disclosure, I hope those records are never broken because I hope we're done with the 1,000-year eligibility rule due to COVID. I know you can play 2 years of JUCO and then go play, 4 years or 5 years if you're redshirt at a major college football program, but those JUCO years don't count. All right, and when it comes to the 60 games limit. Now, Boston College was without their 2 best players today. All right, the FBS sack leader, I'm going to try to say this right, Donovan Izurikia. I don't know if I said that right. He has 16 and a half sacks this year, opted out just 2 days ago out of this bowl game, and their first team All-ACC 6'8" offensive tackle opted out. So Boston College was without their 2 first-team All-ACC performers, a pass rusher and an offensive tackle. Okay, so that helped Nebraska coming into this game. Obviously, we were without Tommy Hill, Micah Mazuka, all right, and Isaiah Nayor. With all due respect, Isaiah Nayor, I wanted to see what Ja'Cory Barney could do anyways. Micah Mazuka's been in and out the entire year, and Tommy Hill's gone at the end of the year. I don't feel like we had any major losses today, so that was something that helped Nebraska, along with Robinson, Benhart, Hupmaker, Gifford, Bullock, all these guys playing in this bowl game. I really felt like Nebraska had a huge advantage coming in to this game, and shout out to Matt RHULE for paying for 18 seniors from last year to come up to very expensive New York City and enjoy this bowl experience that they never got to enjoy during their career. So shout out to Matt RHULE for doing that. All right, I'm gonna go through, as I mentioned, I'm gonna go through my game recap, give my thoughts, breakdown for about 10 to 12 minutes. In the last 10 to 12 minutes, I wanna get to your questions, so keep sending them in. I will scroll through them all. All right, Nebraska starts the game with the ball. Promising first drive. We get down inside Boston College's red zone. 6 plays, 46 yards. A great one-handed catch on a wet ball by Jamal Banks. Raiola gets picked off at the Boston College 7-yard line. Not a great start to the day. when it comes to taking care of the ball and being disciplined. The Black Shirts force a 3rd and 12. Boston College converts on a 50-yard pass completion out to their own 45-yard line. Again, I wanted to, how would we respond? We were clearly the better team. How were we going to respond to the block punt, to the block field goal, to the turnovers? How are we going to respond? I wrote right here, how are we going to respond to 2 big plays? The INT and giving up the 50-yard completion on a 3rd and long. All right, the Eagles' first drive was stopped on a 3rd down, sacked by a guy that I'm going to miss next year. And I'm going to miss going forward, watching him rep the Nebraska and that guy is Ty Robinson. Now, he's going to be in the NFL next year. He's projected to be a 2nd or maybe 3rd round pick. Some guys have him 1st. I'm curious to see where he's going to get drafted. I'm going to miss him, but good luck to him. Got the sack here. Boston College misses a 43-yard field goal attempt. It's only their 4th field goal attempt of the entire year. They hadn't kicked a field goal until November. They were 2 of 4 on the entire season. How do you only kick 4 field goals on the entire year and you don't kick your first one until November? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what I got here. 6:28 left in the first quarter, 0-0. Now, I forgot to mention, the opening kickoff, Quentin Ives and Jeremiah Charles were back to return that. Quentin Ives, you got to get this young, talented guy on the field. He's been mentioned multiple times in press conferences over the years since Matt RHULE got here by Matt RHULE and now Dana Holgorsen. All right, and Jeremiah Charles, this dude's a track athlete. He ran track, did some things for Nebraska track last spring, as well as obviously being on football scholarship, won the slam dunk competition for the Nebraska football team. If you remember that, he jumped over Matt RHULE last winter. All right, the Huskers, so they both had a chance to be back there to return the kicks. The Huskers' next drive, 15 plays, 75 yards, time of possession of 6 minutes and 32 seconds, capped off with a 14-yard touchdown run from Ramir Johnson. I love this. The guy's from New Jersey. He's from the New York area. He's a 6-year senior. He's a guy that gets overlooked a lot, and for him to get to score the first touchdown of the game, and it was a physical run. I love that call, and I love that he was the guy to run it in. Nebraska leads 7-0. All right, and outside of 1 turnover, 1 big offensive play, I noted that we clearly looked like the better team so far in the game, but were we going to be the more disciplined team, or was that going to cost us? That's the question I wrote at this point in time. Boston College's next drive, they go for it on 4th down, 4th and 14 inside the Nebraska 50. Apparently, Bill O'Brien just doesn't like to kick the ball on punts, on field goals, whatever the case may be. All right, kind of a weird decision. But don't worry, we get to stop, but don't worry. Our next possession, we fumble the ball on a 35-yard line. Boston College recovers. I say don't worry in sarcasm because Nebraska just seems to struggle with prosperity. We outplayed Wisconsin. We outplayed Iowa. We outplayed Boston College. Although, let me look at the stats real quick. They may have actually outgained us by the end of the game. It went back and forth. We gave up some yards. 4th down was the key to this game. No, we actually outgained Boston College 363 to 348 at the end of the game. But we clearly outplay these teams, but just turnovers and special teams. Oh my God, we've got to be more disciplined in the future. There's so much to be excited about for the future of Nebraska football going forward with the young talent. Dana Holgorsen being the OC. We got to address the special teams. We got to address that at some point. What's going to happen there? John Butler, I thought the defense did some good things today. It was kind of a, we're going to sack you, we're going to get tackles for loss to give up a big play. So we got to address the issues in the secondary. But there's things to be excited about. But it doesn't matter if we outplay teams if we just hand them the game. We got the win today. We got the win today. Let me reiterate that. We got the win today. Let's stay in the moment and enjoy the moment. All right, the Black Shirts get another 4th down stop. And I wrote, right now, the only way Boston College is going to beat us if we beat ourselves. Just like some other games this year, I wrote the Iowa game, yada, yada. -2 on the turnover margin, and it's not even halftime yet at this point of me taking my notes. Now, the Huskers' next drive, 7 plays, 60-70 yards. 2:46 came off the clock, and freshman Quentin Ives gets only his 6th carry of the season. He hadn't touched the ball since October 19th versus Indiana. All right, that was right after our first bye week. It was like 2 months ago. All right, his first career touchdown run. I love giving the young fella the ball, experience, and building some confidence. He practiced very well throughout the bowl, prep practices. That was mentioned a couple of times. And I will say this, we either need to bring in a portal running back or Quentin Ives needs to be that other running back in the 1-2 punch with Emmett Johnson next year. We're going to count on him next year, or we need to bring in a portal back. So I love giving him the rock, letting him score that touchdown. Unfortunately, I hate saying this, but in true Husker fashion, our PAT snap was in the ground and got blocked and returned for 2 points, but Nebraska leads 13-2. All right, by the way, that was our 9th block kick of the year at that point. We've had, let me see, I wrote it down here. That's the 2nd most in the country by any special teams unit. 6 block PATs and field goals on the season and 3 block punts at that point in time. Okay, Boston College next drive. The Eagles convert another 3rd and long, 3rd and 10. They have a 23-yard play to get the first down, get inside the Huskers' 10-yard line. 4 plays later, the Black Shirts get a 3rd down stop. Okay, let's see, inside our 5-yard line. I get a fourth down stop, I should say. Fourth down stop inside our 5-yard line. The score is still 13-2. Fourth down was the most important down of the day today. It wasn't even close. Vincent Shavers, a one-man wrecking crew out there. I can't wait to watch what he does next year. He earned that black shirt he got during bowl practices. Okay, watching him going forward is going to be a lot of fun. Huskers ball inside our 5-yard line. Less than a minute to go before halftime. I was like, please just kneel the ball, and we did. We go into halftime up 13-2. Some of the halftime stats that stood out to me. First downs, Nebraska 12, Boston College 9. Pass yards, we had 132. They actually had more, 157. Again, we gave up some big plays in the pass game. Rush yards, 57. They had 40 yards per rush. We had 4.4. They had 2.4. Turnovers, we had 2. They had 0 at that point. Time of possession, they owned it, 17-31 to 12-29. Dylan RHULE was 11 of 16 passing. Boston College was 13 of 20. All right, keep sending in your questions, your comments, your thoughts, concerns, or otherwise. And again, smash that like button if you're happy that Nebraska got the win. You're excited about the young talent going forward as well. And I want to get to your questions and comments. I'm trying to go quick through my game recap as I always do. It's my first time ever going live on YouTube. I'm kind of excited that we got the win and I get to do this, so it's going to be fun. But I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, DPS Concrete Construction. They're your local concrete experts. It's not just a saying, it's the truth. They're really good at what they do. Concrete, retaining wall work. Go to dpsconstruction.net, ask for Jason Armstrong, tell him that Adam Carriker sent you. If this is the line of work you do, go to dpsconstruction.net. Also, Bonzel Pool and Spa, check them out at bonzelpool.com. If you have a hot tub, a pool, a sauna, and you need it taken care of, these are the folks for you. If you want these things put in, just because it's December, right now is the time to get on the waiting list because they fill up fast, ladies and gentlemen. Go to bonzelpool.com. If you go into the store, ask for Jeff Bonzel, tell him that Adam sent you their way. They've done my family's pool and hot tub, and they take care of them. They put them in, and now they take care of them. They do a great job. All right. I do want to give a shout out to Donovan Jones, a freshman DB from Omaha. Tommy Hill was out, so who was going to step up in his place? We know Zaire Wright's going to do a good job. We got Malcolm Hartzog, who's been back there for a long time, but Donovan Jones, 6'1", 195 pounds, surprise player. Played well today. Talk about a bright future. A lot of young talent everywhere for Nebraska today. He stepped up, the freshman from Omaha. I should mention this. My daughter called me. She's like, hey, the Boston College mascot just threw a snowball at a Nebraska fan. And Nebraska fans throwing it back at him. It was like a mini snowball fight between the Eagle, the Boston College Eagle, and at least 1 or 2 Nebraska fans. All right, Boston College punched on their first possession. A terrible 34-yard punt. Maybe that's why they never kicked. On their first second half possession, Nebraska stopped on 3rd down, lined up to punt, our first punt of the game, and Brian Bruschini fakes it and completes a pass to number 2 Isaac Gifford to get the first down. I loved it. I think that's Bruschini's second fake punt pass for a first down on the season. Didn't we have one, was it Rutgers or something like that? Let me know in the comments. Am I right? Is that his second one? And if you remember what the game was, let me know. I think it was Rutgers. I could be wrong. Now, the next couple of plays looked pretty good. Emmett Johnson, a 36-yard run. We had a 3rd and goal. Jamal Banks had it. The guy who made the one-handed catch earlier in the game, it was slick out there. Had the ball hit him right in the numbers, and he dropped it, which would have been Dylan RHULE's 3rd touchdown pass of the game. All right, but on 4th down, it's a bowl game, ladies and gentlemen. Nebraska fakes the field goal. It was 4th and goal from the 5. I wish we'd had a run-pass option on the play, but Matt Rhule fakes it. Maybe we just had a lack of confidence in our ability to execute the field goal despite it being so close, but we get stopped. Okay, so we fake a punt, convert it, fake a field goal. We do not. All right, Eagles' next drive. They have their first turnover. The Huskers at this point in the game had 6 tackles for loss and 4 sacks. They were penetrating into the backfield a lot. John Bullock comes free on a blitz, forces a fumble. Nebraska ball in Boston College territory. Elijah Judy recovered the fumble. The Huskers 4th down and 3 had 4th and 3 on the Eagles' 13-yard line. They hit a swing route to a wide open Emmett Johnson. This is such a Dana Holgorsen type play. All the receivers are going to bend in. The back's going to flare out the backfield. The linebacker gets caught in traffic. Bam! Emmett was wide open for an easy touchdown run. Ramir Johnson scored. Emmett Johnson scored. Quentin Ives scored. All 3 running backs scored touchdowns today. All right, Nebraska. So that was 7 plays, just under 50 yards. Took 3:12 off the clock. Nebraska lead 20-2. Looks like a really bad baseball score at this point. All right, the Eagles' next drive down to Nebraska 2-yard line. 4th and goal from the 2-yard line. The Huskers come up with another 4th down. Stop. The 4th down was the key today. The Eagles were 0 of 4. Nebraska gave up a lot of yards at certain points in this game. Okay, but they made big-time plays in big-time situations, and that was 4th down. Eagles were 0 of 4 on 4th down. Meanwhile, Nebraska was 3 of 4 converting 4th down. That was the key stat of the day. All right, let me see what I got here. All right, the Huskers punt on their next drive. I'm almost wrapped up with this. The Eagles' next drive, they finally score some offensive points. I wrote they run it in for a touchdown, fail the 2-point conversion. It's 20-8. I'm thinking the game's wrapped up. Nebraska's next drive, we get stopped, we have to punt, and it's blocked. It's freaking blocked. It's freaking blocked. Our 10th block kick of the year, 4th block punt of the year. Okay, they recovered inside our 5. First play, they run it in for a touchdown. All of a sudden, it's 20-15. The Eagles now have 9 points off our special teams and mistakes. We're going to talk about Ed Foley in my next show more in depth, or you can send me questions right now. Send me any of your questions you have. All right, Dylan RHULE on our next drive is sliding, gets hit. They throw the flag. It's a personal foul. He gets up right in the Boston College defender's face. I love that. I love that he showed some toughness, some spark, some fight. Okay, and on a 4th down run in this drive, Ramir Johnson, shout out to Ramir. He had a key 4th down physical run that converted for the 1st down, basically put the drive away. All right. I'm going to save this for my next show. Some of the offensive and defensive talent that we've got. Okay, but make sure you check out CarrikerChronicles.com. Don't worry, I want to get to your questions here. I tried to go through all of that as quickly as I could. The finals, Nebraska 20, Boston College 15, good guys 20, other guys 15. The victory formation, the kneel down, that's my favorite formation in football. All right, to end the game, check out CarrikerChronicles.com. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going throughout the offseason. Baseball, softball, women's basketball, men's basketball, all Husker sports. All right. It's where all your Husker sports hopes and dreams will come true. Also, all your final bowl coverage as well. CarrikerChronicles.com. Let's see if I can figure out some of these questions here. All right. Let's see. Boston College is terrible. They were 7-5. They weren't terrible. They were without their 2 best players. All right. Fake field goal, I'm told, was a terrible call. I didn't agree with it. I didn't really like it. I looked at it as Matt Rhule saying, screw it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to lay it all on the line. It's a bowl game. We got to do what it takes to win. My bigger issue, I would have personally kicked it because it would have put you up by 2 scores at that point in time. All right, it would have put you up 16-2 at that point in the game because it was 13-2, which makes it 2 touchdowns, not just 2 scores. I don't think he trusted the field goal operation. I think he's like, screw it, I'm going to do what I want. And I think also, I would have liked a different play call, a run past option type play, not where it's just a pure run on 4th and 5. All right, let's see what we got here. Why only penalties on Nebraska? Refs missed a lot of calls. I'm going to be honest with you. There was a call that didn't happen on Dylan RHULE late in the game. After the personal foul that they called on Boston College, later in that, I think it was Dylan, could have been someone else. But they didn't throw. I don't want to talk about refs. I just don't. I don't know how else to put it. All right. Why is Ed Foley still here? I'm going to get into this more in the next video. Here's why I believe he's still here. And I do have some good information on this. He's coached with RHULE for years. Matt Rhule believes he's learned a lot of football from Ed Foley. Ed Foley has a phenomenal resume. Our special teams have been the opposite of phenomenal. They have not been good. They have been flat out god-awful, and they suck. Matt Rhule is no longer, he's going to do what he believes is best. He's not going to make the flashy hire. He said that when he hired John Butler. He's going to do what he purely believes is best. He's got a lot of loyalty to Ed Foley, and he believes and has a lot of confidence in Ed Foley. That's why he's here right now. Will he be here going forward? That's the question. I don't know. I don't know how you keep him on after today. I don't. But I'm going to dive more into that into my next video as well. Heinrich Harburg needs to give the other receivers blocking lessons. Blocking's desire. It's not really that complicated. Once you know who to block, it's inside hands, it's pad level, it's driving the feet, and who wants it more? That's really all it is. Heinrich Harburg is a football player. He's an athlete who just wants to play ball, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I'm happy, Brett says, I'm happy with the win, but also a realistic take on what needs to be improved upon with the eye test. Well, the biggest thing is turnovers, taking care of the ball. The biggest thing is special teams. Okay, I'm happy with the win. We were clearly the better team. Keep in mind, Boston College was without their 2 best players. I think we win either way, if you want my honest opinion. But the impact that their pass rush, who had 16.5 sacks this year, could have made on the game might have been huge. But I will say this, we clearly outplayed them, but we just about handed them the game. We've got to address special teams. We've got to address being disciplined. We're -3 on the years on the season on turnovers now. We were +7. Is that right? No, we were +6 after 6 games, which means we're -9 in our last 7 games. This has to be focused on and addressed. Okay, but we got the win. We're 7-6. We have a winning record, momentum going into the offseason. You got to enjoy the little things right now if you're a Husker fan. Emmett Johnson juke move in the first half was insane. That's by 2008 Toyota Prius. I agree with you. He should have been our best. He was our best running back all year. Should have been starting all year. I don't know. I don't have anything to add to that. It was phenomenal. All right. Salvatore says we sucked in the second half a lot. We didn't suck in the second half today. We made stupid mistakes in the second half. We outplayed them. But if you want to argue that the stupid mistakes meant we sucked, I could listen to that argument a little bit. But as an overall whole, we outplayed them. But we've got to fix the little things. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Chris Alwyn, I hope I said that right. Next year, I'm already ready for it to start. Now, I tell you what, off-season Kool-Aid, I don't know. Oh, I got three. I'll ask you the three questions at the end of the video. I do got three questions for you, and some of them is about the off-season. Some of it is about our coordinators and things of that nature, but I'll save that for the end of the video here in about 3 or 4 minutes. I am excited for next year because what you saw today was a lot of young players out there, a lot of underclassmen. Emmett's a sophomore, Dylan's a freshman. Now, obviously, these guys will be a year older next year, but Jalen's a sophomore. Jalen Lloyd, Ja'Cory Barney's a freshman. Okay, Carter Nelson's going to see a lot more time next year. Vincent Shavers on defense was all over the place. You saw Riley Van Poppel make an impact in the second half. I already mentioned the DB that helped us out. I got to look his name up because I wasn't that familiar with him until the game. That came out of nowhere. All right, Donovan Jones, freshman out of Omaha. You saw a lot of young players step up today, and Ty Robinson was a monster. We're going to miss that dude. All right. Soybean Kid, thoughts on having quarterback run for the first down instead of sliding? Seems like he hates getting hit. I think you might have misworded your question. I want Dylan to lay it out on the line more consistently. There are times to run and slide and be smart as well. It's situational. You got to be aware of those situations. All right, Askland says the side got me worried. All right, Sean Sullivan, this is what we did all year. You're correct. Got to fix it for next year. If we have an experienced quarterback, we have all this talent and athleticism. We got a top 10 transfer portal class. We got a top 20 recruiting class. There's so much to be excited about. But we're going to play too many good teams. So you're not just going to come in and outplay them today like we did versus Boston College and be able to lose the turnover battle, lose the special teams battle, hand the other team 9 points on special teams. 9 points. Of their 15 points, 9 came from special teams, directly from special teams. The 2-point return and a touchdown off the block punt late in the game. But if we address and fix those little issues, how good could we be? I tell you what. We have less hope and more promise. William Babcock. I don't know if I entirely agree with that. All right. Excited for the game at Arrowhead next year. That's going to be a fire game. First game of the year at Arrowhead, playing Cincinnati. They gave up their home field for this, and now it's going to be a home field game for us because it's way closer to us. Thank you. We'll take it. Genuinely believe, this is just me and my thoughts, genuinely believe Nebraska could and should be ranked next year. Very excited for the next season. Not in the preseason. We haven't earned it. We can't be ranked in the preseason. I don't want us to be ranked in the preseason. I don't want anything handed to us. I want us to be overlooked. I want us to be disrespected. And I want all the national pundits to crap on us because we need to earn it and we need to be motivated. And then I want us to come out and earn it and be motivated. Let's see what else we got here, ladies and gents. Jane Dunlap just needs to be aware of where he is. Don't slide until you know you are past the first down. Talking about RHULE, couldn't agree more. Phenomenal point. 2-point return was off a bad snap again. That is correct. We do have a new long snapper coming in, a new punter coming in. All right. Love being an underdog and taking it to people. I am Jaker. I agree with you. We got to take it to people, but I love being the underdog, and they haven't earned the right to be anything but. There's legit young talent on this team, ladies and gentlemen, but we got to earn it. All right. 3 questions for you fine folks at home. If you haven't hit that like button because you're excited about the win and the young talent, then do so. But here are my 3 questions. Number 1, your biggest takeaway from today's game. Mine is 2 parts. Number 1, the young talent is exciting. Number 2, Ed Foley needs to be addressed. My second question. Okay, I gave 2 takeaways. Just give me 1. 2, am I crazy to think we could actually make a legit jump next year if we're just disciplined and better on special teams? Let me know. And number 3, do you feel better or worse about John Butler as our defensive coordinator? Hadn't talked much about him yet. I will in an upcoming show. All right, until next time, Husker Nation, go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bones. Nebraska won. Yeah.